Hey guys, it's Ben from Second Dynasty here. Hopefully we are streaming slightly early just so I can show off the last seconds countdown to Expendable. And with me on the line as well, I have John with me. Say hello, John.
Hello. Hello, John.
John is alive, as am I. And today we're going to talk about a few different things regarding the future and also what's been happening behind the scenes. And I think maybe I should actually get my streaming chat up so I can say good day to a few people. Hello to the chat.
Crimson says, good afternoon. Solar Spirit says, hi, folks. Shergal says, howdy. John Games says, hello. I'm helping.
You are helping. Thank you for that. That way I maybe don't have to track the chat as much today. How's everyone going this week? It seems like a quiet session, maybe. We're actually going to be talking a little bit about the Ratatosk today. A bit of a throwback to earlier in the year when we did the Asia Fleet. We're going to be
Good morning, Will
discussing
Richards.
the Centaur. And we're also going to be discussing our health, sanity, need for recuperation, and a lot of other things in the end. Anyway, John, it's been a while. How have you been?
I am doing as splendid as a butterfly stepped on several times.
Yes. Let's just put
We
it
want
this
to talk
way.
about. Yeah.
Both you and I have had a bit of a rough run of late.
Yeah. I'm gonna just tell him I had Shadow Liger is making progress in the Centaur. Awesome. I
Nice.
had I got a flu shortly after getting back from Sweden, and it was awful. It took me like how many days? 6 days to recover, and then
Yeah.
immediately after, like 2 days later, I got COVID, and that took me out again. So it's been a fun time since Sweden. So fun.
And
What
you've
about
been
you,
moving
Ben?
as well. Don't forget about
Oh
that.
yeah, and I had to move apartments during all of that. So I
Hmm.
had other people, which it turned out to be just my mother, moving my boxes for me. It was so embarrassing. I love her.
Oh well, it's nice that she was helpful.
Yeah.
Last week we worked on this, which is the Centaur, and it is our tribes release for the month of September, along with a ton of new GridForge tiles. And we kind of cross pollinated a little bit between the GridForge and vehicle tiers here because we've used GridForge both for the interior. If I take off the top here, you can see down below. I have made a few refinements, still working on a few things. I'm going to go over that in a little bit, and then we can get into a bit of the sort of plan for the future, and then we can focus on the Ratatosk and getting it ready for exporting today. So this is a vehicle I've actually updated a lot. I worked all through the weekend to get it out for the first. And we've printed it using color as well. I've got everything done except for the steering wheel in this door, and I'm probably going to revise the chairs for a third time because we do have some issues where I thought I was strengthening a part and I actually weakened it instead. I'm sure John will have something to say on that.
Nope.
Well, wait until you see what the issue is, I guess.
Oh.
I'm not used to having the system sound on, so there is a possibility that we forget to make sure that's going through if we, for example, switch cameras. So just let us know if I've forgotten something, and I'll see what I can do to fix it. How's everyone going in the chat,
Revised
by the
chair.
way? Looks
We're
like,
doing well. Sam actually had a question about it.
yeah.
Revised chairs for
So
free.
yeah, I'm not sure if I've got the original versions in here. I do. Okay, great. So, whoops. Let's select a few objects. I've been designing things slightly different because of the multi-material printing of late. So these are designed for two colors: one for the cushion, one for the backrest. On the left, we have the original design, and on the right, we have a modified design for both parts. So the main thing is the chair has a sort of like support underneath because I was finding the chairs were drooping. I'm not sure this is the final design yet, though, because it's still drooping a bit, and actually it's harder to lock in place, although it does lock a lot better when you've got the chairs in the stowed position. And the other thing, too, is you can notice here that I have thickened the side sections. However, this has not been fantastic for snapping in these chairs. I've reprinted all 12, and so far out of 3 attempts I've only got 1 in without it snapping off.
You're limited in how many perimeters can hold a part to still have flexibility. So rigidity actually reduces the ability to safely put them in.
Indeed. So I have been considering a different solution, and my solution is to actually have this be a 3-part chair instead, where there is a little section that you place in the back here, so that basically if you imagine this as a U, there'd be a little cutout, you wedge that in, put the chair in, and that way we can print out this section actually in the orientation it currently is, which will give it more strength.
And more flexibility.
And more flexibility, indeed. So that's my current plan, although it's one of those things where I want to change things a little bit. The other thing too is the bar. This was the original design. Now these probably aren't going to look great with miniatures on them, just because miniatures aren't usually posed for it. But here you have the original, and here you have the modified version. Now I went on the assumption that this was the bar configuration for our power loader, which I haven't printed myself, but Alvin has. So I imagine he actually had to put supports underneath here. So this version has some sort of built-in area under here that's hidden, where you can get some bridging going. This all prints out perfectly fine now. It's not incredibly strong on an FDM printer, but this is stronger and more robust than the other one. Also, there is a slight bit more tolerance in the connection here. So these all print out without any supports. And then the final thing I did, which is not actually in here, but is in, let me see, not this 3MF. This is a bit of a, this isn't the final version, but you can kind of see how I've been printing this out in color.
A dog.
Yes, indeed. There is a dog that is hot. Let's see, I need a new window to navigate, and I'm just going to put this over on the other side, just so it's not as messy, and I'm going to look for the new 3MF that I made with the wheels.
Did you fix, by the way, the extra geometry that your 3MF exporter was shooting out?
What do you mean?
It doubles the triangles. I tested it in a raw viewer and found double triangles.
I don't. No, I haven't. I assume.
Well, it doesn't matter. Orca Slicer remerges them anyway. When you have a duplicate triangle, it deletes it. So it's fine.
I have been. That explains some of the bugs I've had with painting, where I've had to do not a mesh, a remesh. I made opposite wheels, and I also made it so that they print with these little indentations, so you can tell which.
Those are modifiers.
Those are modifiers, indeed. So if we run this now, you can see the R's and the L's, so you can tell which side it's meant to be on. Of course, you could just look at the pattern, but you know.
Nope, people cannot. It is impossible, sir.
The other thing I'd eventually like to do is to mirror this part, because I don't like the asymmetry. But I think because in the original design, that little bulb area seemed to be more related to the actual sort of wheel. By the way, I really kind of like the way that we made the wheels turn. So they've just got this little... a peg sticks into the top and a peg sticks in there. We've got this fake suspension. Really simple model, but you can.
Oh, it's barbed.
Yeah, you can get a little bit of rotation on it, which is nice. They are a little bit stiff, but you know, you could certainly print out a. I think with time you can just like get some wear and tear on it, essentially. So I still have the door left to print. I love the way this came out, and I think maybe the next step is to show it off. So just give me a second, and I want to make sure that John is still... let's see, we don't have his audio yet, so I need to add it. Let's see, I need to... He's talking. Let's see, I'm trying to figure out how I'm meant to do this, but I think it's just audio output capture, and then it should use my existing one system there. Okay, talk now, John.
Talk now, John.
There we go. So
Shadow Library. Yes, that's
my
exactly
hand.
what I was thinking.
Here is my hand, the mess on my floor, and here... Oh, shit, that was close. Here is the APC and some color printing, and oh my god, that is totally washed out. Let me see if I can get some more lights in this to
spin the light thing so it reduces in strength.
Wait, that... Oh my god, I wish I knew about that. Okay, yeah, that makes a lot more sense. So you can see it came out really nice, although I've got to find the focus point here somewhere. It looks like it's more in the background, unfortunately.
That's why we put a table there, because it helps the autofocus.
I wasn't sure the autofocus was there. Okay, well then I need to move some stuff from the background. We are putting some more stuff down in the cellar at the moment.
Sugargo likes to remind you that you either have to hit the mic or break landing gear, or it's not really a stream.
Well, I'm also not Alban. So this is actually some of the parts here are from the Friends of Benjamin version. So there is a much more expanded kit of options there, because the whole roof... Let me show you the original roof. And let me reconfigure it. So this is the actual roof here. And as you can see from underneath, well, hopefully see, it just uses GridForge. So these roof tiles, very simply, can just be swapped out. I say very simply, but you've got to get the right angle. Sorry, this camera is hopeless.
You poop a minute?
So we could, for example, take this piece, and we could take this piece, and all of a sudden, you've got, you know, some different nurnies there. And I was going to do more stuff on the sides, but I run out of time, and really I need a bit more of a breather. Rather than show this off, I think if I set up this video to instead link to... Let's see. Not that one.
Hi, I'm Ben from Second Dynasty.
5 years ago, we launched Sleipnir, our love letter to fusion torch rocket ships, and since then, Sleipnir has become one of our most popular creations, with its modular design, stackable decks, and detailed interiors. Now, we are expanding the fleet with brand new ships for tabletops of all sizes. Alright, you guys should be able to hear me again. From the Valkyria to the Ratatosk patrol ship, the Mercurian gunship Fenrir, and the massive torpedo destroyer Nidhogg. Even Sleipnir is back with a complete overhaul. Built for tabletop gamers, these ships are printer-friendly, require no supports, and are packed with detail
Video is
inside
much
and
louder
out.
than your mic.
Our ships are scaled for 28...
There we go. Sorry about that, guys. Don't really need the audio on this thing anyway. It's just I'm about to replace it. So if I click that and I change, hopefully it will play the video I recorded earlier. If I go to my right Dropbox and let's see, it should be the one made today. That is not it. The 5th, here we go. So let's see. Here we go. So you should be able to see the APC now. So I'm just talking over it, and you can also see how far we got with the Expendable collection here. And I absolutely love the way it looks. The Lego lighting I used came out really well. You can see the APC here. I'm going to be demonstrating swapping out the roofs. Just got a little light in there to create the red light. And you can see me sticking on the top part. So those are all parts, aside from the little turret, they're all parts from the Friends of Benjamin and expansion set. So there's quite a bit of heavy customization.
Except for the turret. Yeah.
Yeah, just the little turret. The big turret is included in both kits.
And in GridForge.
Sorry, yes. It's yes, exactly. The 2 turrets are included in the GridForge tier, but if you have the vehicle tier without the GridForge, you won't have that large turret. The little one is included in all of the sets. So I try to lift off some of those, but some of the angles are stubborn with these. So
it looks like you printed a tighter roof.
That's the thing. Some of the things are loose, some of them aren't. So yeah, I don't know what's going on. But that is essentially how it came out. I'm very, very happy with that. And this is also going to inform some design decisions moving forward with more vehicles like this. So I'm going to have to make sure Albin to gets a little overview of how I've been working on this. Although right at the moment he's working with Blender more than Maya on the film.
He's a Blender boy. And one day you'll be too.
Yeah, possibly. Before I die. When I can just tell AI, run Blender, but give me a Maya interface, and the AI just does that.
Oh. At that point, it will also make the model, but it'll have some weirdness to it.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe the supporting wedge clips there? Nah, it's fine. It holds itself by gravity.
Yeah. So the thing is, like, I love Expendable and the way things came out. I'm going to switch back to our regular scene now so you can see in the background. But if you've been with us for a long time, like $9,286 is nothing to sniff at. Thank you very much if you're one of the people that supported us. If you have followed our past crowdfunding campaigns, you know that this is actually maybe the worst one we've ever had. And there's a couple of reasons for that, and a big part of it is my health and John's health, and just this convolence of different events, with John having to go back to the US and me needing a break, not being able to take proper holidays. I've got a lot going on in my life, which I've been hinting at for quite a while at this point in time. But ultimately, when we got to the point where we could actually launch this, and again, remember, this was delayed an entire month, and it was still a struggle. Look, it ended up looking great, but we didn't do a pitch film. We only put it on Frontiers, so like the finished product on Frontiers. And, you know, with the production time we put into it, you know, we're a long way from turning a profit on it. And
I think even just my costs exceeded the income from Expendable this time, which is not good.
No. But anyone who's used or printed the product should understand pretty quickly that the product isn't the problem. The problem is our marketing, because there basically was none. You know, I did an email send out at the start. I put up something on our Facebook page. But I've hit the wall, and I'm usually the one that's pushing stuff out, and normally you are quite exhausted once a campaign starts because you have been in production for a long time. But in this case, I just did not have the energy to push and to promote and do all the organic stuff. So I'm really grateful for many of our backers. I know Shergel put it out quite a lot. Shadow Lager's shared it as well. I might be misremembering, but I think Doug also did something. And there's been great test printing, great photos, demonstrations of how this works. You know, people commenting on how good it is. Yeah, and Gaming Geek did a video on it as well. Mr. Kim. which was very nice. And yeah, I believe in the product. I think it looks incredible. And some people have pointed out that the major issue with this picture is that people might think it's rendered. And it is
Yes, a lot of people.
it is not
It's
rendered.
not.
In fact, the big giveaway are those are the lights, because you can clearly see that there's this star shape here and there and there. Those are all lens flares, which are a pain in the butt to do with a 3D render. It is possible, but
The thing is, yeah.
these do look fake, but it's based on the size of the lights. That's it. Which is a real shame. But I don't think that is a part of the issue. Obviously, we don't have a video. I haven't done very much promotion. You can kind of see I'm in a fairly good mood today, but a big part of that is just for the simple fact that I've made some decisions about this in the future of Second Dynasty for the rest of the year. So we do have a circumstance where we've got some outstanding stuff. Obviously, John's responsible for some of that with the Fifth Frontier War physical productions. That is like the resin rooms set up today, right?
Yeah, I'm going to Lowe's. Lowe's is a home improvement store. I'm gonna be buying a special drill bit, and I'm gonna be punching a vent hole through the wall because there's no vents in that room and there's no windows to vent through. So I'm gonna be punching a hole through a wall. I'm gonna make sure it doesn't look ugly, because I got and I'm gonna put the vent in, put the resin tent in. I have a 4x4 resin tent from Gorilla Tents. I think it's for growing a certain plant, but it's great for resin rooms because they're airtight and they have carbon filters, so the smell doesn't leak out.
Yeah.
So that'll be going up.
Continue.
What'd you say? Oh, after that, I'm going to be putting the main printers in. I'm going to be launching things back up. I'm going to be doing my test prints. I'm going to be shipping Shergal because Shergal ordered one of everything. So he's a great person to fill the order of, and he's the first order.
There you go.
You get it.
So much delayed, for sure, since we thought we'd be getting that stuff out in June, and it is now September. Initially, I mean, from the Kickstarter. This is also another thing I haven't really wanted to push our marketing, because I feel like we have so much stuff that is overdue. And finishing the ACF fleet is a part of that as well. And unfortunately, in addition to all the printing, like once John is up and running, and the printers are going to run themselves, right? But there is a certain amount of work to optimizing that process and making sure that people get their rewards fulfilled. We still don't know, how tariffs are going to work. In the US, it's not going to be an issue, but if the EU implements tariffs, it's getting tough.
Let's leave
that's
that
an issue for later. We will be offering refunds for people that just decide it's too hard or too much additional costs, right?
Yes, we're gonna when it's your turn to order, if at that time tariffs or other things are too much for you for a U.S. shipping, and you alert us, it'll be in the email. You can choose to file for a refund instead of your original pledge. Minus, if you ordered a pledge that has STL components, you will get only a partial refund. We are not refunding digital purchases.
Indeed, because you guys should have all those files already. They have been out for months and months at this point in time. If you have been missed, get in touch, because usually it can be that the redemption emails have gone to a Gmail junk mailer folder, or things happen. We are doing things.
Only 3 people have gotten a redemption email because they're the test people. I want to make sure that works right before I start doing the first wave.
I meant for the STLs.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I think about the physical. Like, whoa, no, that's not out yet. Okay, my bad.
No, sorry. It's all good. So, yeah, there is a lot of outstanding stuff, and, it weighs on me when it feels like each new campaign, we're just stretching that out a little bit longer. And then coming back to people and saying, hey, support us again, when it's like, well, you haven't delivered what you already promised. Now, the physical stuff is entirely separate from us designing STL files. That I should be clear about. We do have the ACF fleet as well, with some outstanding items.
Once I start on the print run of the Fifth Frontier War, I'm also doing in the background because I can do two things at once. Printing is just sitting there letting them print for hours. I'm going to finish up the Fenrir instructions. The Nidhogg 270 needs to be finished, and then all the 270s will be done. And the Nidhogg needs instructions. And I think one other ship needs instructions.
Slight new refit, but it's almost identical interior-wise
Okay.
to the. There's like about
Okay.
30% difference between that and the Fenrir.
Gotcha. I'll still be, those will take to give you a rough estimate because people will want to estimate. They will be released. All the Fenrir, the Nidhogg 270 tactical, the Fenrir instructions, Sleipnir refresher, and Nidhogg instructions will be done this month at the end of month. I'll be able to have that time. I've moved in. Things are going to be going well.
Provided you don't get another round of COVID.
Don't you dare curse me.
Well, you never know what the next disease might be over there. I hear there's issues with the. Yeah. Anyway, we won't get into that.
Nope. I'm. You know how I am on that.
Yep, we'll leave it there.
I'm jabbed.
Well, yes, and you might be seeking asylum in 6 months' time. We'll see. Anyway. You can only laugh at it, guys.
I love Shurgal. I love your optimism, Shurgal.
Oh, right, yeah, the chat's going on too. I've been watching myself for some reason.
Yeah,
you still have Persephone swine flu waiting. Yeah.
Waiting in the wings.
Waiting in the wings.
Shadow Liger's talking about the communities, done so many pictures. We could show community pictures to show that. Shurgal mentioned Shadow's trying to market. He's saying, Blasted actually brought up a thing. The Kickstarter could even feature a small section that other people sell GridForge stuff. Because I think, and Shurgal brings a really good point, Shurgal has some tiles that could work with Cocytus, but also Kathy has these cool windows. While they're not the same style, they could fit-ish.
Yeah, indeed. And in fact, maybe, I don't know, oh no, this isn't Kickstarter. I was like, oh, maybe I can look at Kathy's page and show it off. I mean, we can do that next week because John is going to run the next 2 Friday streams, right?
Yes. Do you want to tell him about what's coming for the tribe?
Do
we still have things to talk about for Expendable?
We do, yes, we do. So,
yeah.
Expendable is something, obviously it's finished. We're actually planning to close this campaign, which is not something we would normally do. The amount was so low that we didn't even hit a single milestone. And usually I like to start milestones or stretch goals at around about, on a Kickstarter you would have a funding goal and then after that you release the stretch goal. So we've started doing it so it's much higher, and a part of that is so that we don't work too much on something that's not proving to be popular enough to warrant it. I've had a history of, over-promising, over-delivering, and then ending up, 3 or 4 months later back in the hole again because I just went too hard for, what I couldn't really afford to produce in that time. And these are lessons that are hard to learn sometimes, and especially when you're going through a highly stressful period. And I don't want to give up on Expendable. The mistake for us, I think, aside was simply the fact that I was too ill, and also that I let feature creep in, but it became something which I'm so much more excited about. I honestly feel like not enough people have actually seen this and understand what it's about, and a part of the issue was, whilst it was an interesting collaboration to write an adventure for, I still need to update the beta on that as well with the last 2 missions, with one-page rules. To really get into that and build it up would require a lot more resources from our end on promoting that and growing that side of things. It's not... it's not their most popular games, StarQuest. So although there has been some interest in it, it's I found it overwhelming to be working on an adventure on top of all of this design as well. And, the concept was great in theory, and we've been talking about doing games for our stuff for ages. It's just a case of it's not a sensible move right now. And
Mhm.
so Expendable itself was the adventure, and we weren't really like, it's called Expendable, a GridForge adventure. GridForge is in the name, but we've never properly crowdfunded a GridForge campaign ourselves. I think Kathy's done that, but we haven't. So, my plan is to take Kakaido Station, and rather than trying to push out, because we've been taught about doing a Traveller campaign using GridForge, just doing simple deck plans for all the core ships. And I still think that's a great idea, and I think there's an interest there from Traveller fans to do that. But I'm not well. And what I know is, for our company to work, we have to have another campaign before the end of the year. Fortunately, Albin's working on a long feature film project, animated film, which means some of our costs are covered because he's away doing work on this other film. And it does mean that I can focus more on tribes and doing one more crowdfunding campaign before the end of the year. And I want to return to Kakaido Station. There's more that we can do. We can do vehicle garages. We could maybe do a commissary, different areas. And, this can be cross-compatible with other creators like Kathy, who are already doing GridForge stuff. So, obviously, I really appreciate the fact that a lot of other GridForge creators are like, oh, I don't want to tread on your feet here doing the same sort of thing. And Kathy in particular. I'm not worried about that. We have different aesthetic styles. It's not going to be the same anyway, and people love different options, right? So I'm not bothered by that. But I kind of feel like Kakaido Station, Expendable, we didn't get it out the way we wanted to. Even John, we had so many more plans for the outside, right? With the
Yes.
strip mine and ramps and all this
Oh.
other stuff. Half tiles, expanding GridForge vertically that we didn't quite get to, just by virtue of the fact that I was too stressed. All of a sudden, when John went back to the US as well, he had a number of obligations on top of that. And, while he was here, there was a lot more time working on this. So it's like, we were both pushing ourselves to the limits. So revisiting this in, say, late October with new expansions and doing a relaunch is what I've decided is our best option right now. That and continuing
Now,
to focus on yeah, sorry, go John.
no, exactly what you're saying. This is not just going to be, though, a re-release. I just want to clarify, because that word has a
Yes.
down meaning. This is going to be a bigger focus on the GridForge side, not the Expendable side.
Yes, Expendable is out. We still need to figure out a good name for it. I was joking about renaming it to Expandable. But the thing is, like, I haven't even tried to target the audiences that might be interested in this. Obviously, there's a great aliens vibe to this, with the science labs and the corridors and all the cool effects you can achieve with lighting. So the thing that we would do then is launch a crowdfunding campaign to build on top of this, but showing off GridForge and how it works. And a part of that is, like, we've never really shown off its greatest advantages of hot swapping tiles so you can change the environment. So for example, here in this corridor, maybe it's a little small to show, you could take out the floor and have like an acid burn or something. We can have a level underneath there. There are lots of opportunities to show how you can update the environment during play, but also, market it more towards, rather than just OPR fans. You could say, well, this is useful for OPR stuff, but you could use it for, any sci-fi style campaign. You can mix and match it with other GridForge tiles from other creators. It's still compatible with OpenLog.
Like the video.
Yeah.
I want the video to be like they're playing a tabletop game, but you can't figure out which one it is. It's like, and just showing up that way. The GridForge it's like some generic ambiguous one while you're showing off the features of GridForge, because I don't want people thinking this is for that.
You mean I have to remove the xenomorphs?
Yes, you have to remove the xenomorphs.
Again, I'm so grateful to everyone that did support us and was aware of the campaign. And of course, if we're not going to ask you to pay twice for the same thing, so there will be a pledge level where it's just whatever new concepts we come up with that we didn't have originally. We have a lot of cool ideas that we've actually experimented with and designed things for and can iterate on. So it would be a shame to leave things now. And even just like going through some of the color stuff, the corridors work the best because we did those as multi-part pieces. But now that we've really kind of got our minds wrapped around how that's supposed to work, I kind of feel like we can do a better job when we expand it. But more importantly, I am going to take 2 weeks off because I have not had any holidays. I've hit the wall and had to keep working even through the weekend. I worked a good 20 hours to get the Centaur done. And I've worked another 3 days on top of that, getting it to the point where it is today. I am very, very tired. And I just need to have a period of time where I don't need to think about work at all. And that has not been possible because when you've got a campaign looming overhead, when you know that you might have a company running out of money soon if you don't sort things out, like this is enough of a band-aid that I feel like I can get some time off to recuperate. If I don't do that, I just can't keep going. That's where things are at. So John is going to take over the vehicle for October. So
I'm doing the vehicle, the Friends of Benjamin version, and the GridForge tiles. You're stuck with me next month.
Yes, and which one of these images should I show? The last one or the second one?
No. This is a preview for October, and I want to explain it. Pick the one that has the 2 in it.
Yes. Let me see. How do I open in browser? Here we go.
Okay, can I explain this ship now?
Oh, please do, because I have nothing to do with
it. I'm going to talk now. Ready? Meet the Eridani Magnetron. Eridani is the company. They're the Timu of the Second Dynasty universe. They make clone ships that are horrifying and crash a lot. They're the same company as the Globial, so you know you can't trust them. After stealing our scouting out needed ships, they produced this one for a lower price for people. It is the giant arms can grip some items physically. Those little claw things move, and they also have a special magnetic field to stasis items between them. I want to give you a quick caution: do not put organic living creatures in the grip of the Magnetron, as heating will result, followed by death of everyone.
The Italian hand gesture of ships.
It's a 6x6 tile ship in the top left image, and it's down to a 6x4 in the bottom right, so it can land in pretty small spaces.
All right. Do you want me to show off the other variant?
Yes. Now this one is they'll be compressed into a cube at the owner's expense. Exactly, Shurkoff.
Here we go. I think
the next. Okay, this one is actually. This is a Friends of Benjamin variant. Now, those are not suction cups. Those are just really poorly done quick things to show what they are. This will have a 2x2 interior grid forge. That middle section is expanded. And that bottom section will have a simple bed and an open air toilet in the 2 nooks. It has no pipe. Yes, it's Eridani's specialty. They have a fully automated piloting. There's no way to pilot it. It's made for inside of the same solar system travel. Um, and it has two giant thruster engines on the back that can rotate around, and it has four thrusters in the front area to get to where it can orient itself. And since it's made by Eridani, you know you can trust it will fail horribly at any unusual situation.
This is going to be such a
Eridani.
derp ship, so we'll make sure too that there's yeah, and I'm trusting Johnny. I know it's not my style, it's not Albin's style, but there is a hardcore fan group that love the derpy things that you make.
Yes.
And I mean
The
that in the
Eridani
most
company-
flattering way possible.
Every time I make a ship and we figure out who makes it, it's always Eridani. Eridani is such a sad company, and they just copy and they clone. And that's why I steal items from Second Dynasty's good ships, and I just plop them in. Like so that's the part they stole.
But the print quality is
Derps are full
exceptional.
of
Function over aesthetics.
Yes, function over sex. The Cotel has the most usable GridForge space or size of any ship.
Indeed, and I every time I see these extremely thin walls, I'm just like, oh my god, what is this gonna be? It just reminds me of playing Lego as a kid with my colorblind friend, and gives me anxiety just watching it. But
Thank
yeah,
you for
that's
letting me have my fun.
so you're going to be in John's capable hands, and I don't know. Do you guys have any questions about this course of action? How do you feel about it? Is there anything you want to see in the updated Kakaida Station GridForge campaign, as to be named yet? I think we'll probably put a page up pretty quick, just so people can sign up, because I think we're just going to close off the existing campaign, and if you got in already, great, you've got those files. If not, like, you'll have to wait until we launch the campaign. You missed it, but whatever suits me. Yeah, just let us know. But for me, it's important to have a break to do a project that I can still be creative with. Full disclosure, at the moment I'm on antidepressants, and they've started kicking in now. So it's been like 5 weeks. I feel much better, but
I just want to add to this serious moment by saying the moment I left, he had to go on that. He just loves me that much.
you know, now that you mention it, things did kind of go to shit when you went back to the US. But no, it was quite intense, and it's not just work. There's a lot of other stuff going on that I'm not going to talk about, or at least not at this point in time. How much for the bendy tubes? What these things? Like
From
this-
the we didn't reach the milestone for him.
No, they'll be included. Obviously, we'll put out everything we plan to make, but I would imagine we'll have more external terrain, and I think a garage is a sensible one. You know, I'll still, you know, Kathy's got a Kickstarter coming up too, very soon, and it looks great. Like John said, the windows would work really well in combination with Kakaitis. She did do some of the walls slightly different, I think, especially stacking. But that's to
It
be
still
expected.
works, but you just have to it only, as long as hers is the top floor, it works, but it doesn't work if it's the bottom. That's the problem.
Right. Yeah. I think in any case you would be not combining those two designs in a stack anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, my goal is to get this out today, and that's starting to become a problem, but let me show it off. So, what we originally promised, because, you know, guys, feel free to talk about the stuff that I just asked you guys in the chat. That's fine. But in the meantime, let's try and get some prep done on this thing. So, Albin had some interesting design choices on this one. It was pretty much ready because this next coming month he's working full-time on the film project That was semi-intentional, so that I can also, get some time off and not have to worry about making sure I'm directing things. So this was promised as one of the stretch goals for the AC fleet. It is this cargo module, or mission module, I'm calling it. It has a customizable interior to some degree with GridForge. We did end up making it one tile wider as well. But it is fairly basic. I think this is going to be one of those things that if anyone takes it further in the near term, it might have to be the community, like Shergor or Shadow Liger, for example, do custom jobs really nicely on our Discord. I believe the link is in the description if you want to join our Discord, by the way. And if you haven't looked down there anyway, why not scroll back up and like and sub to the channel to keep getting updated and to see the progress on John's wacky little Magnetron. I love the name in any case. It does sound very Fallout-like in a sense. Yeah, how is the tail seater being kept from falling over? It actually holds it okay. I do have the test print. It worked fine. As long as you're not putting too much material in. If you're really worried about it, you could do solid torpedoes as a counterweight. And the other option might be to switch the engine direction around. I can't remember, but I think it is possible to have this facing the opposite direction, in which case the motors will stick out more. But right now it's balancing just perfectly fine in the window as it is. And there is, in fact, in the original design, there's like an airlock here, but it just was wasting too much space. So here I've used the same designs as we did for the Nernies collection with this one. If I take out the walls here, we have, actually it might be better to, I did some more custom RCS clusters here and some engines. So the idea is that this could be, separating at some point in an emergency or whatnot, and have just a little bit of automation to pilot it in the future. Maybe that is a landing ship variant or something. Although, ultimately the orientation is a bit challenging, let's just say. So if you wanted this as a landing ship, maybe you would have to have some additional propulsion or whatnot. Or just as like a boarding vessel, perhaps it can service as that as is with just some RCS, because you would have to board a ship when you're at least matching velocities, or have the engine shut off. So interior wise, it's just a series of stacking decks. Let me take this out. So this was like Albin's solution to have it open. I kind of decided not to go with this one. And instead what I've made is just some custom pieces here so that you can put your GridForge frames in here and customize what you want aside from these floor panels. It's just a ladder system running up and down. If you wanted to, you could put in like the lift system from the regular ship. Yeah, it's just one of these things that we just wanted to get finished and out, and not let become a massive project. And also obviously AC Fleet was completed in April or May, and the campaign, so I really want to get this, and this is the last major thing aside from the model ships that John's exporting, and it's just the Nidhogg left of those, right?
Correct.
So it sounds like by the time September's over, this should be pretty close to fully delivered. It's just a case of at least in 3DO. Is that what the goal you said earlier?
Yes. We're going to have instructions in 3DO for the Sleipnir refit, Nidhogg, Fenrir. We will have the 270 in tactical, the Nidhogg. And if we may have physical instructions, I'm not promising that by end of the month, because it's based on what Lisa does.
Yeah, Lisa needs to go in and make the final version. So, but in 3DO, we should be able to do, if nothing else, recordings. So that would be an option. So the main thing now is like we're going to do some exporting, but the naming hasn't been done correctly. So it sounds like we might need to adjust our scripts a little bit for the 3MF export. I've started using that instead of STL, in part because it's just so much smoother. I might need to refine my script a little bit because I'd like it to be based on naming conventions so that, not everything's multi-material. So you might want them to be separate STL files. But for example, we've got this one here where it's got the name, Ratatosk mission module top. Now, why is that a group? Okay, that's interesting. I don't know why it's doing that. There must be an object still slaved to it. So this scene is very much a mess, and it doesn't help that... wait, that's weird. History. There we go. Okay. All right. Because there is a bug in Maya where this can cause not a crash, but a very long export. That's why I made this script in general. I think I explained that last week. So I'm just going to choose to export this to 3MF instead. And we have Albin's... Like, you can see Albin was done, pretty much. But this is all just the test prints. So the whole thing has been test printed. I'm just making a few modifications. Albin also likes to do small sections to test print really quickly. I tend to just try and make it as finished as possible and then hope for the best. So yeah, there are a few...
Both are valid solutions.
So let's just name this for now. I have created you can see this is just called mission module, because technically it is compatible with other ships as well. I believe you can replace any like torpedo tube with it. It is a bit bigger though, so yeah, you might have to do some hull extensions. I'm not sure, but it is technically possible to combine it. Let's see.
The part that's confusing me is in Blender. Turns out Blender's 3MF is broken right now, but the STL has a batch mode. Is there no batch mode for Maya?
Oh god, no. You're expecting way too much of Maya. So I need to name this. So Ratatosk... actually, what am I calling it? I think I'm just calling it the RMM for short. And then hull... actually, that's not how I've named it here, so... Let's just call it Ratatosk mission module and then top. Of course, we want to do this in a format that John can import later, so I've already exported these as STL files instead, and then we're just going to go through and do it deck by deck. So this should be deck, let's see, that's on deck 2, so this would be deck 2 right. And I believe these ones have not been changed, so it only starts changing here. So I kind of have to go back and forth looking to see what Albin has done, because we have not been communicating much on this one. It was one of the cases of like it was his last day. It became obvious he wasn't going to be done in time. So he's called it Ratatosk mission module deck 2 left. Thing with tail sitters is port and starboard become a little bit weird. So I'm going to assume left side is actually that side and right side is, well, is it oriented to the ship? That would be right side, yeah. So let's call this right. Naming doesn't matter that much, to be honest. Wait, was it that one?
Of course you say that, Mr. Polysurface 8046.
Now, whoa, shit, I named the completely wrong thing, yeah. So, if we do get the naming right on this one, when I export the 3MFs, there is like some tricks we can do. Like I can see we're running out of time, so I'm just going to do a 3MF of these 3 parts, and then I'm not sure if that's where there's just a wall there. So let's go for this one as well. So if I just go and use my 3MF exporter, and since they're 3MFs, not the STLs, it doesn't matter as much what I'm naming them because these aren't the finished versions. And we're not going to do color printing for this, it's just out of scope. We'll do that moving forward, I'd say, but this was on deck 2. So I'm just going to call it deck 2. And then we can sort of switch over to looking at the 3MF. So at the moment, I'm just going to, let's see, I think one of these might be monocolored. No. So I'm just going to go File, New Project, and I might even switch this over to a P1P given the size. So we're just changing this and it will be a single material.
And then do a GoFundMe to get for second Dynasty. Or do a GoFundMe. Help Ben get an AMS for the P1P. Indian needs an AMS.
I got
Connect
close
today.
to getting it, but we need to wait for a future version, right? Because the problem with the AMS for the P1P, AMS2 is that we have to.
You have to get an
upgrade
AMS
the firmware.
1.
Yeah.
AMS 1 doesn't require an upgrade though.
So I'm just importing a dummy item, and I'm realizing now I didn't have to do that. But one of the issues, well, actually I did, because if you have an STL in scene, if you import a 3MF, it will. If you don't have any objects, it will open that 3MF as a scene rather than as an object import. So we need to go to our, let's see, this doesn't look like I'm in the right folder system here. So let's go to export, STL, it should be in add-ons 2020, no, not add-ons, SG 2025, there we go. And then we have the mission module, which is my version of things. So here we can see our deck 2 3MF, we can see the top one. If we go open, this is likely to have some issues. And this is a case of we just need to be done with it. If I was doing this properly, like a lot of the files I've looked at, they have tons of n-gons, they have intersecting geometry. Unfortunately, in this case, we just need to do the quick and dirty job, which is to use the artist formerly known as NetFab. So we have this piece, and then we know this works. Fortunately, because the way the ship is built to, I think, did that come in through the right orientation? We can delete this now. And I'm just going to go export as one STL. The good thing with the 3MFs is, oh, I was about to say, I don't think that bug happens, but the bug just happened. So
yeah,
it does have an issue.
If you send me your script,
sorry?
If you send me your script, I can fix it. It's in Python, right?
Yeah, although I don't think it's the script in this case. I'm talking about the bug that's in. I can definitely send you the Python script after the stream. So the issue here is more the bug with Orca Slicer, where you try to export an object and it gets a different name than the object you're trying to export. Like, for example, here it's going GridForge Grid 3 2x4 instead of Ratatosk Mission Module Top. So let's just rename this manually. I've found that this bug doesn't turn up as much with 3MFs, but then it just happened now. So there we go.
Sorry.
Yes.
We want to thank everyone for coming, but we have something to discuss that I'm going to override Ben on because I have no authority. Please remember to like and subscribe. Hit the bell. Do it. I need money, so do it. Thank you. I get to eat if enough people subscribe.
Well, we all do.
And like it.
I mean, if you're a tribe or one of our backers, you really do help keep the lights on. And tribes in particular, we would not have been able to get through this tough time if it wasn't for the fact that we have this fan base of more than 500 monthly subscribers that help us keep the lights on. That means so much to us. I really enjoy doing the smaller projects too. It's just at this point when I'm so burnt out, I just need a break. And then I should hopefully come back and I'm just like, yeah, sci-fi. So it's saying here, this file contains several objects positioned at multiple heights, right? And it thinks it's a single object. We're going to click no this time, so they come in as separate objects, whilst they're still selected.
Doesn't that change the heights?
we're going to but they're separate objects, so they're going to just drop down to the to the print bed anyway. So I'm just going to make a second
By
bed.
the way, to add this to your list,
Yeah.
you accidentally have double windows in your OBS. We can see Orca Slicer twice.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, it's fine.
Because there's there's a second window there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's two windows
there we
in your
go.
OBS
Sorry about
setup.
that. That's been on there the whole time, and I thought, oh, that's a weird artifact. Alrighty. Thank you for mentioning that. So now we've got these items in, and we're just going to go through and simply netfab them and export them. So this phase is kind of boring, but at the same time, as we fix them, we can start building build plates, right? So level by level, and some of these build plates, if we just arrange things in such a way that they are laid out in the ship itself, you don't need instructions. It should be quite evident how they go together. Like here, it's quite obvious, right? And if we just move these back here, do some manual placements, and hopefully we could fit that there. Maybe we can get a bit cheekier here and do something like this. But it should be fairly obvious how these parts sort of fit together.
See you later, Blast. It's ammo flange.
Wow, that was some almost Dr. Spatzo stuff there. So yeah, I'm just correcting this. It's a very kind of boring phase, but hopefully I've got about an hour before I have to leave, and I can get things ready so that by the end of the day this should be out. I already made some renders, so we can update.
Say the goodbyes.
All right, John. John is ushering me out of here. So, guys, thank you for joining us today. I will be back in 3 weeks' time, and John will be back next week. So, stay tuned for that exciting episode. All right, guys. Have a great weekend. Have a great couple of weeks, and I'll see you on the other side. Bye, guys.